Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. I hope your weekend is starting off well. And thanks for joining us wherever you're catching us on social media. We do the Minnesota Real Estate Show live from WCCO every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Talk real estate related, mortgage related. Excited Brad Sanford, Farmers Insurance, is with us here today. A lot to talk about. And again, you can join us at any point. The show is hosted by Mike Overson of Luminate Bank, and then Scott Wolmering, and I'm Ryan O'Neill with the Minnesota Real Estate Team, Remax Advantage Plus. Great to see you, Scott. Good to see you there, buddy.
Yeah, good to be here. Appreciate everybody tuning in. This is my moment where I try to figure out how to share this show every time, and I did now. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We're live local every Saturday for the next hour. Love your comments, feedback, either online or just text us or go live on air at 612-294-6949.
Yeah, we're going live on air, everybody. Thanks again for joining us. Appreciate it. Here we go. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thank you for joining us. I hope your Saturday is starting off well. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show, hosted by Mike Overson of Luminate Bank and Scott Wolmering, and I'm Ryan O'Neill with the Minnesota Real Estate Team, Remax Advantage Plus. Happy you're joining us here on WCCO every Saturday morning. And you're welcome to interrupt us at any point. 612-294-6949 is how you can join us. 612-294-6949. And Scott, good to see you, bud. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good to be here. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Like Ryan said, this is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Been doing this show for a little over 20 years. Loved your comments and feedback during the show. That's what makes it fun. Like Ryan said, 612-294-6949, the entire show. Or any of the social media networks, just type in your question and it comes directly to us. We've got some cool things we're going to hit today. We've got some questions that have come in that people want us to cover. We'll hit that. We're also going to talk a little bit about a change in the market that is definitely here. And I think it's about time that everybody starts to embrace that we are not in Kansas anymore, so to speak, and that there's definitely a change out there. I've kept track. I've gotten 16 agents call me in the last week, panicked. They're not getting any showings. Their homes aren't selling. What's going on out there? And guys, this is just another Thursday. I mean, this is just kind of a regular real estate market, but we haven't been in one for a long time. So we're going to talk about what that looks like, feels like, tastes like, all that stuff.
Yeah, again, 612-294-6949 is how you can join us. I wanted to say a special thanks to so many CCO listeners, friends, family, agents, fellow professionals in the Minnesota real estate market for supporting the O'Neill Foundation of Hope Golf Tournament. Great day, a fun time, lots of, most importantly, monies raised to help folks struggling in our communities. Brad, you were out there, friend. You were golfing. You did pretty good, buddy.
We did pretty good, yeah. It was a great time, and I was amazed how much you raised.
Yeah, it was I think it was over 25,000 raised. But Brad, it was fun. You golfed with, not to go on a tangent, but you golfed with a friend. Tell people your connection with this gentleman.
So John's son is marrying my wife's and my youngest daughter, Erin. So Josh and Erin get married next year, and we've become pretty good friends. So we love to golf together. We love to do other things, get out in nature and stuff, and go have a nice drink, like a bourbon at a restaurant, and have dinner with our wives and that kind of thing. So yeah,
Scott, you know what I said to him when they were telling me about this, and I said that's wonderful. I said, really, kind of the ironic part is the kids have not met yet.
Yeah, that's right. But you're sure they're going to like each other.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Why not?
Absolutely.
Why not?
It was the best deal I could negotiate.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's so cool, because I'll tell you what, a lot of times fathers-in-laws do not particularly like each other. So it's cool that you guys do.
Yeah. Are you speaking from experience?
I'm speaking from experience. Yes,
Scott,
there's been a
you
little-
you keep it real.
Well, there's a little bit of difference between the Wolmering clan and pretty much anyone else you involve this with.
Hey, let's hit some market numbers for everybody. New listings in the Twin Cities up 11% year over year, 1,817 new homes on the market. Pending sales were up 1.2%. There were about 1,200 pendings. The inventory is up 5.4%, 10,923. Interest rates have stayed really pretty steady in the mid sixes, mid to 6.5 to 6.75 right now. And Scott, again, I was talking with an agent on the team here this morning who they have this particular seller was just asking about the market and wanting more activity. And part of, again, certain areas, price ranges, types of properties, we're seeing increased market time. We're seeing less showings. We're seeing less offers. It's real. It is here in the Twin Cities.
It is. And this is probably the, I tracked back to when this occurred. It's about 60 days ago. Some of the agents that called in, we're trying to figure out kind of when the kind of dropped off. Like go through those new listings and pending numbers. 1,800 new listings.
Yeah, about 1,800.
1,100 pending.
Yeah, 1,200 pendings.
1,200 pending. So that means we're adding 600 homes to the market just this last week. That has been happening now for the last 60 days. So if you guys remember, last year we're at about 11,000 homes. I think it was 10,900 homes. It took us all the way to December to get to 10,000 homes last year. We're in that right now, in the heart of it in June. So the point of this is it's not gloom and doom. Your house is going to sell, but it is not going to sell like it did a year ago. You're getting less for it if you're in that, let's call it 550 to 800 range. You're not getting the numbers you did a year ago. Again, I'm talking generalities. There are still pocket areas like Edina and Wyzetta's and parts of Eden Prairie, although they're getting pretty over too. So it is a different market out there. Nothing to hang your hat about. Nothing that means your home's not going to sell. But you do need to be real cognizant of where you're pricing it, or you will just sit in the masses of homes.
Yeah, it is important. Again, find a good agent, and he or she should best advise regarding price. Price is critical. As we know, for those of you that have listened over the years, we do appreciate it. Again, 612-294-6949 is how you can join us at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We do like to have a little fun, so we welcome your questions at any point. And we like to feature a few listings before the break. Scott, Carl Ritzman has one down in Cannon Falls, 642 Union Court for $375. Carl says everything's on the first floor. There's brand new carpet in 3 of the bedrooms. Got fresh Sherwin-Williams paint throughout. It backs up to the Gemini Nature Reserve. A beautiful kitchen, updated granite countertops, stainless steel appliances. There's a lot of east-facing windows that bring in natural light with gorgeous views. Again, it's 5-bed, 3-bath, over 2,500 finished square feet, room to host and gather. Check that out. Carl Ritzman has that 642 Union Court in Cannon Falls. This, friends, is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for joining us. Brad, good to have you.
Do you guys have a preference?
Good to have you, friend.
Do you guys have a preference on which way your house faces?
I do.
I like, I guess I do, because I like to have afternoon sun on my deck.
So west facing.
Yes. And most people actually prefer to have afternoon shade on their deck so that so that when it's 4:00 in the afternoon, you're not getting sun beating down on you.
Yeah.
I prefer the sun.
How about you, bud?
I like mine to face south. The front of the house to face south, because in the winter the
Then you get that sun.
gets the driveway and melts
Correct,
off.
yeah.
As mine faces north.
Yeah.
So I got it.
You get it.
Ice and all that.
Oh, you face north.
Yeah.
Yeah, we face east. So especially in a dark, we live in like a 1980s house, which is pretty dark.
No.
Everything's kind of dark. And so again, with lack of sunlight, it seems generally people like a south facing or west facing. Sometimes people with west facing can say it's too hot.
Yeah.
If you've got too much. But that's a good question.
Yeah.
That is a very good question.
It's actually escaping me right now. Maybe you know the answer to this, but there's a nationality that their home has to face make sure I'm getting this right. And anybody out there listening, all the agents can correct me on this, but I believe the front door has to face east. I believe.
Okay.
But there's one nationality that is the number one thing.
Mhm.
They won't look at a house that does not have a door. And I believe it's facing east. Again, please correct me if I'm butchering this, but that's what I think.
Hey, had a question here that came in, guys. Just quick reaction. What makes your house feel like a home? What makes your house feel like a home? Brad, anything?
I'm gonna be corny and say it's my wife.
Yeah.
How she decorates it, and it just feels like a warm home. Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
It's I won't be gender specific, but it is whoever in your relationship
Yes.
brings that flair to your home that makes
Sure.
you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
For example, I've been divorced now for about 5 years, and I think I've got a picture up in my apartment. So
it feels homey.
it is not. I've not hung anything,
Scott.
because it's not a home. It's just a place I'm staying.
Scott, you can come stay with us.
Yes, exactly.
You stay with us. You're welcome. You're welcome with
I'm
your friend
Kathy-
Ryan.
I'm sure Kathy would love those days.
Minnie would love
I
that.
would go sleep on the couch, just like the old.
Minnie would love
That's
that.
how I would be if I wasn't married.
You know-
I'd have one picture.
I
of
had
it.
one picture up, and the other thing, it's like I watched The Accountant, this movie the other night,
Oh yeah.
where he had a fork, a spoon, and a knife, and one plate. I'm like, that's me. That
So-
literally is me.
Chris-
I wash my fork, I wash my plate, and that's it.
Crystal Vetter. Thank you, Crystal. Outstanding agent, wonderful, kind human. Says it's India. The
That's
discussion.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you for that. I would say what makes a home. I think about. I think about growing up in the house we grew up in with mom and dad. Definitely, it was mom and dad.
Yeah.
Mom and dad, and how they. The cooking of the breakfast in the morning. My mom would cook breakfast for us every
I
morning.
bet she did.
Oh my God. I mean, think about that.
Meal boys have to have breakfast. My mom's like, look, you know where the toaster's at.
I mean, isn't that
Yeah.
God bless you, Mom. You need to hear that more often, Mom. We love you. Here we go. Okay. Hey, welcome back to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We appreciate you joining us. Scott Cat Kit has a nice listing in St. Louis Park, 4620 Valaker Avenue in St. Louis Park, $509,000. This is in the Minnetonka Vista neighborhood. It's a mid-century home, 3-bed, 2-bath, hardwood floors throughout. Lots of updates. Kitchen updated upstairs bath surround, new blinds, fresh interior paint, timeless character, Kat says, with modern, thoughtful updates. There's a new roof here in June of 2026. And it's got a walk score of 88, placing you just moments from neighborhood cafes, restaurants, shopping, parks. 4620 Valaker in St. Louis Park, $509,000. Great listing. Cat Kit, the Minnesota Real Estate Team, Remax Advantage Plus. Scott, we're talking about lots of fun things here.
Yeah, at the break, we had a question that came in for those that are listening on the radio of what makes your house feel like a home.
Yeah.
And we were saying that for me it was whoever you're married to or whoever has that flair that decorates it to a point that makes it feel like a house. I was saying I've been divorced now for 5 years, and I think I've got one picture up in my home.
Not many pictures.
Not many pictures. I'm not looking to make it a home. It's a place I sleep. That's about it. And Brad, you were saying kind of similar.
I was saying, yeah, my wife makes our home feel so comfy and homey. And you know what? One of the things that I love that she does is like every 2 or 3 months, she moves the furniture around.
Oh,
So I walk in and oops, the chair's there and the couch is there. And so, yeah, I love that about her.
yeah.
Well, and then Ryan said, what made my house feel like a home was my mother, Kathy, would have breakfast, the smell of breakfast every morning. And I've learned through the years that the best kids have a mother that makes them morning breakfast. I actually had to travel from my house to my buddy.
Oh,
His mother made an actual breakfast every morning.
well, here's the thing. Speaking of traveling, my dear friend, I saw a picture on Facebook last night. The Pumper family, love the Pumpers in town. They were neighbors. I think 8 kids. They had my friend who was
Sounds
my
like
age.
a movie.
The Pumpers.
The Pumpers.
Nate was my age, and so guess what? Nate would come over often
Because Kathy'd making breakfast.
because mom is cooking a wonderful breakfast
Yes.
or luncheon. But it is, it's sometimes those little things. So God bless all the parents out there or single parents as well. If you are you're doing those things, that's what makes the world go round.
So my mom is very offended right now. Mom, look at my Facebook. I'm a mama's boy. You're right on there. I love you, but breakfasts were not your skill set. Everybody has their own skill set.
Oh, the smell of breakfast when you're getting
Yes,
up. Oh,
exactly.
man. Yeah.
Kathy O'Neill.
This was a question that came in. Again. You can either comment on social media, or again, if you're on CCO here, it's 612-294-6949. We are live here every Saturday morning. Do you know what notifications sent to Minnesota homeowners regarding 5-year assessments are called quintile notices? What advice would you have? Notifications sent to Minnesota homeowners regarding 5-year assessments, quintile notices. Assessments, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, I have no idea maybe you could look that up on Grok while I'm talking about
Scott.
I have no idea what quintile is.
So quintile, I believe, is 10. I believe, and maybe I'm off. Maybe not. I could be off there with, but regarding assessments, so you can be assessed obviously for different things, streets, sewer,
sidewalk.
Yeah, sidewalks. Those, my sister Mary and Doug, a wonderful home in New Prague. We had these 2 beautiful trees, Mary did, in the front yard. They came in, putting in a new street, tore the trees down, put the new street in, sidewalks in. So again, those assessments generally paid over a certain amount of time. By the way, be sure your agent is looking on MLS, because it will show if there's assessments, so you can see that.
Well, and assessments normally work this way, like Ryan said. So let's say you are assessed for curb and gutter and sidewalk, and it is, let's say you're assessed for $10,000. So you start making your payment on this assessment over time. Well, now you sell your house, and let's say there's $8,500 left on the assessment. Typical assessments are always paid in full by the seller. Okay, so at closing, all assessments are paid in full. There are certain situations where you can make an argument that the new owner is going to be getting value. So, for example, the new streets, he's going to be able, or she is going to be able to enjoy them for a longer period of time than you did, and you can negotiate that out. But typically, sellers pay for assessments that are up till closing, and any levied assessment that comes in after your purchase agreement prior to closing, that is normally negotiated out. So a new assessment comes in, depending on how you have it on the purchase agreements, they are negotiated out of their seller pays.
Yeah, just a note regarding specifically for the question that Minnesota many homeowners are receiving quintile notices about new property value assessments, which could affect their property taxes. Letting the assessor in your home is optional, but again, it would and could affect how your property is valued itself as well. Very good question. Good question. I hope that helps a little bit with it. This other question just said, guys, what was the best investment you've seen someone make into their home regarding value? The best investment you've seen somebody make. Scott, does anything?
Well, let me say it this way. The best return on investment is something that you really wouldn't blow your hair back too much. It's light fixtures, it's carpet, it's paint, and so on and so forth. That's where you get the biggest return on your investment. But let's think about it this way. You put $100,000 into a basement. The basement's incredible. You lived there for 15 years and enjoyed this basement. And then when you sell it, instead of $100,000, you got $75,000 out of it. So you lost $25,000 on your basement. Wow, what a horrible investment. But was it? You enjoyed that for 15 years. Your families loved it. And yeah, you're not getting a dollar return for finishing your basement, but I wouldn't classify it as a bad investment.
They also said, Brad, maybe you can comment on this. They said not just financially too. What's the best home investment you've ever made? That's an interesting question.
So the wife and I, we redid our deck, and it wraps from the back around to the side, and we decided to screen in the side. And I bought the screen that they put in Florida homes where it blocks the sun from coming in. And then we've got a wall where I've got my big 65-inch TV.
Yes,
so I get to watch my Vikings on the, outside in a screened-in porch where no mosquitoes are. That is my favorite part of the house.
Yeah, some other things that I thought of maybe in regards to this question is perhaps it's moving closer to family. Maybe it's buying instead of renting. Maybe it's landscaping, finishing the basement,
I was
different
gonna
things like that too.
Yeah,
you know,
I can tell you right now, the best family investment I ever did in our home was putting in a swimming pool.
oh,
So I put in a swimming pool, hot tub, and a bunch of stamped concrete. I don't remember the exact dollar amount, but let's call it $100,000. When I sold the house, I probably got $30,000 out of it. I would still classify it as one of the best investments I ever did because my kids loved it. All their friends were always at our house. I like that because I'm a control freak and that gives control. So I mean, so that was a bad financial investment, but probably the best investment.
we have not had this question before. This is kind of a fun one. This says, the Minnesota Real Estate Show. It says, "What do you guys think makes a great neighbor?" What makes a great? That's an interesting one. When it comes to, you think about that, you think of living in, whether it's living in a HOA, whether that's families, kids nearby, quiet neighbors, cul-de-sac. Any thoughts there, guys?
Yeah, mine probably won't be that popular, but so to me, the best neighbor is
Scott, you be
Jim.
nice.
Hey Jim, how you doing? Great, Scott. How about you? Hey, good day. And I go in my house, and then they go in their house.
That's it.
That's the best neighbor for me. Now, my wife Jen was very involved with all the neighbors. They were all doing things together. But yeah, for me, the perfect neighbor is. How you been doing, Scott? Been doing great, Jim. Good night.
So how about this though? Before I get Brad, your perfect neighbor. How about if you're in an HOA and you have other people in the HOA commenting things about your home? Maybe that's their committees, their different things. Like, what do you think about that, Brad?
No, it's my
Brad.
it's my house. So yeah. But I my best neighbor is the guy behind me. I shouldn't say best.
Yeah, don't say best.
Yeah, that's not good. Right? Great track. The neighbor behind me, Dave, who was with me in the golf tournament.
Yeah.
Is a great golfer. We just sit and talk across the fence and talk to each other, and then him and his wife have a fire every once in a while, so we go over there and talk. And yeah, so
Hey, so just before the break, real quick, and then we'll let this. We could go on for hours on this topic. So, agent on the team, Heidi Huseth, awesome agent. In fact, congrats, Heidi was this past month the #1 seller on our team, over 200 agents. Anyway, she had moved into this home, her and her husband, Dan. And Dan's just a gem of a guy. They're both wonderful people. Sue Gagne, another agent on our team. She was not an agent with us at the time, moved behind them. And Dan just loves to talk. So Dan would always be at the back fence, like you said, talking to the neighbor. And Heidi always jokes about, with Sue. So Sue was that neighbor. Heidi always jokes about, will you stop talking to Sue? Come on in. And they're all close friends now and just wonderful people. But that's funny, that looking over the neighbor over the fence. Hey, it is the halfway point here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We appreciate you listening to us. We welcome your questions, really about anything at all. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. It's kind of a fun one.
you hit a chord with me because I have a flag out front. I have a U.S. flag out front, and one of my neighbors would always come to me and say, "Take that thing down."
Oh, see?
Like,
Take your flag
Take
down?
your flag down.
Yeah. Nope. Sorry.
Wait, now was this a single family or an association?
Yeah, single family.
Okay, so that's even more egregious.
Yeah.
And
that's whatever.
I was gonna put a pole in the middle of the yard, straight up, and put the flag there flying.
Oh, I would have put flags on every corner.
well, I'll tell you, with HOAs, we could talk hours about HOAs because I think that's more common than people think. Like, hey, we live in an HOA and I'm on such and such committee and I'm reviewing this about your home and it is not satisfactory. I mean, I deal with a lot of the complaints on transactions and with, and so sometimes on transactions, agents are trying to work things out. Those, I hate to say it, those things sometimes happen. People can be too intrusive. You know what I mean?
Last time it happened, I gave him my address and I said, just send payment every month. Because unless you're paying my mortgage,
That's right.
I'm gonna
You did
fly
say
the
that?
plate. Yeah.
And how old of a gentleman was this?
Oh, probably about 41.
What was
42.
his issue? Did you ask him?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
No, I didn't
He didn't
want
like
to.
the American flag.
Yeah.
That's his issue.
You know, that would be my approach. I would say,
Tell me about it.
yeah, what's going
What's
on?
going on?
Yeah.
Tell me what's going on.
You know what?
Give him a hug. I would give him a hug.
You know what, though? I say that about neighbors, but I will tell you, when I was young,
Yeah.
Andrea and I, So I was probably 24. We just built our second house in Prior Lake. In fact, it's called Carriage Hills,
Okay.
which is obviously still a development there. We built our second home there. This neighborhood, it was a lot of younger couples. You couldn't mow your lawn. You could not mow your lawn or do your driveway
Mm.
because everyone was so quick. We got 5 inches of snow. Everyone's out
Snow blowing.
5 a.m. with their snowblower doing everyone's yard. You had rock delivered to your, and you had 80 guys with wheelbarrows and shovels.
Wow.
It was the coolest neighborhood.
Yeah.
And every night there was a bonfire behind everybody's house. Now I love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, normally neighbors, they get in your business, not so much.
Yeah. It is interesting. It's a good question as well. We're going back live here on CCO. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Wherever you are catching us on social media, we do appreciate it. I'm going to put my cheaters back on here. Here we go. Hey, welcome back to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hope your weekend is going well, everybody. We appreciate you joining us. We're here to help with questions, comments, thoughts, really anything real estate related at all. We're a team, the Minnesota Real Estate Team, about 200 agents all over Minnesota and Western Wisconsin. However we can help you, we're happy to help you. Susan Mull, Scott has one in Apple Valley. This is 15152 Dundee Avenue, listed for sale, $475, 3-bed, 3-bath, 2-car garage. It's got a detached townhome, new roof, maintenance-free deck, new paint throughout. Lots of updates. Main floor, hardwood floors. It's a pond view, close to everything. 15152 Dundee Avenue in Apple Valley for $475,000. And then one last one, Ben Smith has one in Ramsey, 6081 144th Lane Northwest for $405. It is, again, a Ramsey location. It's a few blocks from Sunfish Lake. It's just off Highway 10, so it's an easy commute. Surrounded by mature trees, wetlands, green spaces, fenced backyard, irrigation system, fire pit, deck, spacious family room. Quick close is available on this one. You got to check the pictures out on this property. That's 6081 144th Lane Northwest in Ramsey for $405. Scott, speaking of Apple Valley, wanted to give just a note. We have a friend of ours and a kind friend in the real estate world who passed away.
I was just thinking about that.
Passed away, and we want to honor him, his family, his 4 kids. Jeff Sislow. When Jeff was his saying was, "The name you know."
The name you know.
The name you know. Jeff sold in his eulogy and at the funeral. I think his son said he sold, I think it was over 4,000 homes. Yeah. Sold a ton of real estate. Jeff was a champion in the real estate world with his faith. Scott, I know you competed against him many times south of the river there. That guy, wonderful.
He was the man. I mean, for many, many, many years. When I got in 1998, he was just the realtor of the year, probably for the 3rd out of 5th year that year. And I hired a marketing company, and I said, look, I want to be at the table with Jeff Sislow. And at that time, there was a few others, but Mark Bionich with Coldwell Banker and a few others. But he was the guy. So you look, when you were trying to build a business, you built it based on what did Jeff Sislow do? How was he marketing? What was working for him? Just a pioneer in our industry. And when you say the name to know, if you walk in the southern suburbs, I'd be hard pressed to find anyone that did not know him.
Yeah, thinking of the whole family, sending lots of love and prayers. Jeff was way too young. Was only, I believe, 69, and just a gem of a guy. But Brad Sanford, Farmers Insurance. We got to talk a little insurance here instead of what makes a perfect neighbor. We are getting a lot of comments coming in, as you can imagine, what you like or don't like. But Brad, again, thanks for sponsoring the O'Neill Foundation of Hope Golf Tournament. Thank you for being a partner with us. You've got a great team. Again, I love to give shout outs to Mark O'Thule with your team. Just a wonderful young man doing a great job. You got a lot of great people with you, which is not a surprise to me knowing you.
Well, thank you for that. And yes, I do spend time with my agents, making sure that they understand what they're selling and what they are presenting, knowing that that person, that's their asset, that is their home. What is the favorite thing about being there? All those things, it's got to be protected. And some of the things I like to bring on the air is trends that are happening, and some of the things that I've noticed. My wife recently had an accident and totaled out our vehicle. And when you have coverage on your vehicle, the 100, 300, 250, 500 is for the person that you hit that you're at fault. But the PIP, the personal injury protection, is for yourself.
So sorry to interrupt it. For
That's
those
right.
that don't know, including me. So what is the 100, would you say 100, 300?
Yep. So it's 100,000 per person, up to 300,000 for the accident.
Got it.
Okay.
And that's standard, would you say?
That's the national average, right around there. Yep.
100 to 300.
Yep.
Okay.
The normal max for the standard carriers is 500. So they'll just pay whatever up to 500.
And that's for the person you hit.
That's the person and the car that
If
you
you're
hit
at fault.
and the people that are in it. Right.
I see.
And my wife wanted me to talk about this today. She, because I had a different trend I was going to talk about, but we generally default in the state to 20,000 personal injury protection. So we're only covering ourselves for 20,000.
Wow.
So I guess what I implore everyone to look at their auto policy, and you can do a couple things. You can increase it to 40, 60, 80, or if you have multiple cars, you can stack the PIP coverage, which if you have 2 cars, then you get 20 for each. So you have $40,000 of coverage.
That's important.
Yeah.
So PIP, I had no idea about this, but you think about it. I mean, I hate to say this, in the cost of everything nowadays, 20 grand probably doesn't get you very far in the, you get in a bad accident, you're going into the hospital. That probably doesn't get you real far.
And there's a big cost to get you to the hospital called an ambulance.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's you definitely want to take a look at this and see what you have for coverage currently.
Does that really hit you hard in your premium, when you're making that? I mean, and does it really get you that way?
It's not a big increase, no.
Okay.
No, absolutely. It's something that I've recommended before, but having experienced it with my wife, because she experienced an airbag going off in her face and the smell, right? I've never experienced that, but this drove it home for me that I will be making sure I have a great conversation with all of my clients about increasing their PIP.
Yeah. Most importantly, is she okay?
She is okay. She instinctively put her arm up because she was going towards the median, and she's got a big, huge bruise on her arm that,
Ouch.
yeah, it's bothering her quite a bit.
And it was a one-car vehicle, or was there another?
Miraculously, it was 35W North during rush hour, and everybody got out of the way.
Wow.
She did not hit anybody else.
Yeah. Again, Brad Sanford, we have partners that we work with on the Minnesota real estate team with the show. These are not, again, random people that we just find. Good folks, honest, helpful, caring, call you back, help you. Brad has helped numerous folks, even through the O'Neill Foundation of Hope, some people in some very difficult situations that, frankly, Brad has not made a buck on, but he did it just because that's the kind of guy that he is. And so we appreciate that, Brad. We really appreciate that. And Scott, you think about in the market, insurance is becoming a big deal.
It is. Yeah, I mean, like you said earlier, the cost of everything is going up. Insurance is no different. And it is. We've joked about it a lot, but just so people can kind of keep in perspective, if you were buying a house in 2021 when rates were at 2.6%, you could have basically bought $1 million house for the same price that a first-time home buyer now is buying a $450,000 or $500,000 house. So think about that. If you were someone that was a first-time homeowner that bought in 2021, and I had gone to you and said, "Hey, let's buy $1 million house," you would have looked at me like I'm out of my mind. I can't afford $1 million house. Well, guess what? Your payment, if you're buying $450,000, $500,000, is the exact same as it was then. So when we say affordability and we say first-time home buyer used to be 24 years old, now they're 38, those are all real things. There's a separation of who can afford housing. And so earlier in the show, when we talked about being in 11,000 homes on the market, all of those things that are crunching it, the 2.7% refinances in 2021, the purchases in 2021, gas more expensive, everything more expensive, obviously that shrinks. So of course, those, again, the 16 agents that are panicking because they can't get a showing on their listing, it's just going to be another Thursday, guys. That's going to be the market we're in for a while.
Yeah, and the one thing Scott and I were talking about, be sure your agent is communicating the market to you. What is the average market time in your neighborhood, your price point, your type of home? What is the average days on market? What are the competing listings getting as far as activity? Have your agent call the fellow agent at Edina Realty and say, ma'am, what are you seeing for activity? It's important to communicate the market because, again, your agent, of course, is not a magician, but he or she should be helping communicate the market amongst other tasks.
Yeah, and if for whatever reason, if there's a disconnect between you and a seller where you're not able to get that through, I'll be honest, I just got fired.
You did get fired.
I got fired. First time in 21 years I got fired. Great people, great house. I won't say which one it was, obviously, but great house. And the frustration was they're not seeing the numbers that was in place a year ago. And unfortunately, I was not able to verbalize to them where they need to be in order. They weren't believing me, basically, at the end of the day. And that is the job of a real estate. So if you're in that situation where it's just not feeling right, there's nothing wrong with making a change to somebody else. I mean, I wish them the best of luck. But it is a 60-day thing. So if you're south of the river and you've listed in the last 60 days, ask yourself this. When you go and look, when your agent sends you all the homes, the 189 homes between 600 and 800,000, for example, look at it and go, okay, why would I show your home? Can I find it out of the 45 homes that are within $5,000 of each other? Does your home even stick out? If it doesn't, there's only one answer for it.
Yeah, again, 612-294-6949. We just missed a quick call. Feel free to shoot us a quick call back here. We're happy to take that call at any point here as well. I know Josh has been busy on the phones. Here is 612-294-6949 is how you can catch us here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Brad, that's super good advice. Any other thoughts, tips on that one, bud? Just in general, insurance-wise, and Marco, I don't know if Marco's watching, but what an awesome guy he is. You're just doing a great job, my friend.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited about his path. I mean, we talk about the industry and are there enough young people getting into it? And Marco's going to be one of the great ones.
Yeah. Super good guy.
Yeah, he loves what he does.
Yeah.
Scott, we did have a comment about your neighborly. It is funny you say that because it is kind of you walk out and you just the wave.
Oh yeah,
Versus the discussion. What about the discussion neighbor?
Well, I don't mind the brief,
like a thoughtful discussion.
I don't mind the brief discussion neighbors, but hey Scott, I wanted to catch you today, tell you about my day today. I was at Target. No, wait a minute, it wasn't Target. I think it was Walmart around noon. No, it wasn't noon because I grabbed lunch with Seth. I mean, yeah, I don't want that neighbor.
You don't want that neighbor?
I don't want that neighbor.
Oh, Brad, are you one of those neighbors?
I am not. No.
You're not?
No.
We do have wonderful neighbors, very great neighbors. And it is. And again, if you have a dog, you think about walking with a dog. Mm-hmm. Are you the walker that just waves? Or are you the walker that says hello?
Oh, I'm the wave.
You're the waver?
I'm the wave walker, yes.
So I'm an extrovert, so I'm the one that talks to everybody. My wife is the introvert, so she's the one that's like, we're on a walk. We're getting our exercise. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm the same way. In fact, a lot of times you got to decide when you're going to do it. If you go later at night, if it's dark, you know what I mean?
2 a.m. is when I like to
It's wide open.
Yeah.
Well,
no one's talking to you at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
What's weird is I'm an extrovert too.
Yeah.
I just picked my areas of being extrovert.
Yeah. You're an extrovert, dude.
You're an extrovert. I was talking to your mom at the golf tournament.
You did.
Love your mom.
Yeah.
Talking to your mom at the golf tournament. I said, when I met Ryan, I said, you had to have been the homecoming king and the king dingaling in high school because everybody would love you. And she's like, no, he was actually very shy. And I've heard that about you in high school.
Super shy. Was probably, very, very shy. And probably studied.
When that changed.
Yeah, right.
When did
probably
that change?
Studied more than. Okay, here we. We're going back live on air here again. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for all the comments wherever you're catching us, everybody. Hope your weekend's going well here so far. We're going to go to a caller here next. Thanks again. Hey, welcome back to the final segment of the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We have a caller, Mary, who's on the line. Mary, thank you so much for calling the Minnesota Real Estate Show. How can we best help?
Getting older. He's 93 and I'm 90. And we lived in our house 65 years.
Oh my gosh.
And we need to move within the next 2 years. And then we're not sure what's the best way to start. We live in a modest house in Crystal. Over the years, we've put in lots of improvements, but the last maybe 10 years, we've just kind of coasted. So we're not quite sure how to proceed.
Great question. This is Scott Wolmering. What I would suggest, and hopefully we've got your number, is just have one of our agents out in Crystal. We've got some great agents on that side of the river. So they'll go out and they'll basically do an evaluation of your home. They'll be there for probably about 45 minutes. Then they'll give you an exact number of what they believe your home will sell at. And then they can discuss with you whether waiting the 2 years until you're at that point or doing it now makes more sense. And that's just going to depend on, I'm a big believer in, we know what we got right now. We don't know what we have in 2 years. And right now it's still a very good market. I mean, you could argue that it's the third best sellers market. So that'd be the first step, Brian.
Yeah, Mary, again, God bless you and your husband, over 60 years. So wonderful. We love the Crystal area. Again, I think as Scott said, having an agent come out, and, you know, an important part of this business is it's kind of like working with a doctor. You need to have a good bedside manner and work with somebody that's not going to be pushy, that's not going to be salesy, that's going to do their best just to guide you through the process. And so, yeah, again, of course, we'd be happy to help you however we can. But it's also probably hard to sell your home. You think about that, living there 60 years, all the memories.
Years, yes. You know, it is, I don't know how long you've listened to the show, but about 3 months ago, I was selling a house out in Wisconsin, and the eight-year-old girl sent this to me. And it was basically a picture of what the realtor sees.
Yeah.
And it was the new photos that I took and of the kitchen, you know, that's all spruced up. And then it was like, but what I see, and it was her with her sisters and her mom. And, you know, you forget that these are in 65 years, there's a lot going on there. They don't need some knucklehead coming in and said, oh, I'll sell it in 2 seconds with 12 offers on it. You know, that might be true,
right?
But there's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah. Absolutely, Brad.
And Mary, this is Brad with Farmers. I just have to say, you guys did it the right way. Living in your home till you're 93 and 90, that is my dream.
Oh my gosh,
that's what
me
I would
too.
love
That is
to do.
exactly what I want to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Very cool. Thank you for listening too. Thank you for listening, and hope you have a great 4th of July as well, Mary. Brad, last thoughts for people with you and your wonderful team. You talked about PIP, increasing PIP.
Yeah.
Other thoughts, questions, comments?
Take a look at your PIP or personal injury protection. Talk to your agent, see how much it is to increase it to 40 or 60. Think about the fact that you're protecting someone that you're hitting up to $250,000, $500,000, but you're only covering yourself for 20. Add that protection. You will thank yourself later.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, Scott, one last listing. Paul and Krista Dokauer have one in Isanti, 1402 Tiger Court in Isanti. And Paul says, calling all empty nesters. This is a 2023 one-level living with a loft. There's no association dues, which means no rules, no price hikes, amazing backyard. It's got a patio, upgraded privacy fence, and the main level primary en suite with dual vanities, a huge walk-in shower. He said, compared to 600,000 detached villas, this is priced at $450,000. That's 1402 Tiger Court in Isanti, a very nice one, a very nice property, Scott. We've had a couple of comments about you being just a kind neighbor, Scott, being a good neighbor. What Mr. Scott? It is interesting though. It brings up a lot of good points. That's kind of a fun question. So you think about, hey, what do you want? You know what I mean? Do you just want to drive in, close the garage door, and look, nobody bother me.
Yeah, I mean, like Jen, who's been on the show before, my second wife. She was so close to the neighbors that they would text each other, "Hey, I'm at Target. Do you need me to pick anything up?" And then they'd pick each other. I mean, I don't want that kind of closeness. I just don't. I mean, it's cool. It's just not how I'm.
You know, I was going to go to the store and get these 5 things. Can you get them for me?
Yeah. Hey, Scott, could you yeah. But yeah, I think it's great for people that are like that. But I don't know, when you work long hours, I just don't want to come home. I don't want to come home and.
We're not going to let that one down.
Yes.
And we had a comment. Did Scott really say his second ex-wife? Yeah, Scott.
That would be it.
Oh yeah, but you know what? You're friends with both of them. I love that about it, Scott. And the kids, all the kids get along. Your friends. Yeah.
I actually live with my second ex-wife.
Yeah, you
which
do.
As strange as that is.
Yeah, Brad.
When you're looking for homes, is that something that you look at when you go down the street? Do you look for how many garage doors are open and the cars are in it? So they're open, willing to talk to you, willing to meet you, or the door's closed? Is that kind of a thing?
It's
I never really
interesting.
thought about
It's
that,
it's an interesting thought. That is interesting. Used to do a lot of relo business, and I would always describe
Relocation.
relocation. I would always describe when people say, "Well, what's Lakeville like, or what's this like?" I said, "We're an open garage door community."
Oh.
If you
Nice.
think about it, I don't lock my house. I've never locked my house. I don't lock my car.
Hmm.
And we had 5 kids.
That should probably change though, because one time we were in downtown Minneapolis. I think people know.
They stole my briefcase.
We were looking outside the window
Yes.
down onto the street here. WCCO, for those of you who don't know, the studio's right downtown here. And I feel safe at this location, but it happened to be someone was breaking into your car as we looked down the window as we're starting the show. So maybe you should. So anyway, keep going. Sorry.
Yes. So I mean, it is that kind of a community, very low crime rate wherever you're at in the Twin Cities, comparative to others, other states, other cities, and so, but it is interesting because I was mentioning the Prior Lake property where, my God, if you had rock delivered, you had everybody out there helping you put it in. It took me 5 minutes to sod my yard. I mean, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's just luck. You don't know if you're walking into that. Some neighborhoods are just cool and other neighborhoods are not. And you don't find out. Unfortunately, I mean, through the years, I've had people that said, "Yeah, Scott, we've been here 3 months. This just isn't going to work." The neighbor's crazy. Or
I liked a smaller town. I love New Prague. Grew up in New Prague. I'd love living, in New Prague, the smaller town versus the cities. How about you, Brad? What do you think?
I've always been in the suburban area, so
Yeah.
I love that area.
Brad, thank you for coming on air today. Thank you to you and your team. Great advice to increasing PIP to what number again?
Do 40 or 60, whatever you're comfortable with. Remember, you're giving someone else coverage way above what you have. So just take a look at that. And I just have to say, I am so proud to be a part of your team. You guys are my Sislo.
Well, thanks, man. Thank you. No, we love Brad, love his team, love Marco, doing a great job. I'm so glad your wife is okay with the accident. Scott, last thoughts, bud?
Yeah, no, just last thoughts. I mean, don't freak out about the market out there, but be aware of it. And if you are sitting and it's been 2, 3, 4 weeks where you've not had a showing, it's not because people can't find your house, guys. So get with your agent and get real about getting it sold, because again, in some of the communities, when you got 150, 190 homes on the market, half of those aren't selling by the end of the year. You don't want to be in that half.
Yeah, again, thanks everybody for joining us. It was such a busy show. We didn't have time for the Minute of Hope for the O'Neill Foundation of Hope. Just go to o'neillhope.org. Nominate anyone you know going through a difficult time. We're local. We help 3 to 4 families a week. Please nominate anyone you know struggling. Enjoy this weekend, everybody. Thanks again for tuning into the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hey, thanks for joining us on social media. A lot of folks watching the whole hour. Thank you. We try to keep it interesting, try to keep it fun. Good job, bud.
Thank you.
That was good. What do you got going for the rest of the weekend? Anything fun?
Family's back in town, so we're going to go barbecue and have some fun.
Yeah, Scott, any?
I am single. Jen is in San Antonio, so I'm home alone with the dogs.
Go straighten out that picture.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I got to say to my mom, today is actually Kathy and I's anniversary.
No way.
Yeah, so happy anniversary to my dear
congratulations.
wife. I didn't. So next week is the 4th of July, everybody. And so that's why we're actually replaying this show next weekend. So that's why I didn't even say anything on air because it's going to be the 4th of July when people are hearing it. So we wanted the show to sound live next weekend. We normally do it live, but 4th of July, everybody takes a day off, of course. So anyway, happy anniversary, Miss Kathleen.
Yes. How many years is that?
It's been a long time. I think 24.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she, I definitely married up. She is very kind-hearted and just a wonderful family too. Jim and Sue, Mary, love the whole family.
I almost sent her a video last week. Really quick. There's a video going around, a reel, where it's a woman that's maybe 5'2".
Okay.
And she said, I just wanted to know, when I yell at my husband or get mad at my husband, what does he see? And it's the video. It's the video of this little teeny person yelling. And I almost sent that to Kathy because I was thinking, that's much me what you see when you look down at her. She's like, I thought I felt so tough. And I look at me and it looks like I'm asking for juice.
Oh, man.
It's so true.
Hey, enjoy the weekend, everybody. We're going to be off social media next weekend. Hope you and your families have a great 4th of July. And yeah, fun show, guys.
Thanks,
Great job.
thank you.
Take care, everybody.